Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we will be dropping our breakdown, review, and everything you may have missed for Dragon Ball Daima Episode 9. So I hope you guys enjoy the content, and if you like the video, and if you love the video, maybe even subscribe, because we are this close to 1,000. We're really just trying to beat that benchmark so that we can move on to our other ones. And with that out of the way, let's hop into this breakdown. So this episode starts off with them just traveling in their ship, fresh off the win with the Tamagami 3 and the Dragon Ball. So they're flying through, and basically they as a group pretty much decide that they need to camp or just like land. And Pansy's kind of annoyed because she's like, oh, we need a hotel because I have not been able to shower. And they're like, okay, well, fine, we'll do that. But Goku is wanted. And so Pansy puts on this like little bear hat on him and is just like, if we cover his hair, they may not recognize him. And everybody's like, okay, that'll work. And then I think it's Shin tells him that the power pole probably needs to be hidden. Shin or Glorio tells him the power pole needs to be hidden because the spiky hair and the red stick are pretty much what people are going to be recognizing the most. So Goku leaves the power pole in the ship, and then he puts on the bear helmet. Yeah. So as they get in there, though, Glorio suggests that they stay in the same hotel room to make sure that nothing can happen as a divided group. But Goku, in all of his just genius logic, decides that the helmet is too itchy. And so he basically takes it off while they're all talking, causing two bystanders to notice the spiky hair and recognize them as the guy that beat Tamagami 3, as well as, you know, the fact that the round sack he probably has is the Dragon Ball. So they deduce a plan to pretty much steal it. So Goku is just actually pretty dumb in this case. But they get to the like hotel room, and Pansy finally gets a shower. She's super happy that she was able to bathe, and then she's like, Goku, you should bathe too. And Goku's like, oh, are you sure? And that's like gross. That's gross as heck, because like homeboy needs to freaking bathe. He's fighting, he's getting sweaty, he's taking like 2 dumps minimum while he's been here. Bro just needs to like wash his cheeks, bro. So he finally gets convinced to go take a shower or a bath, and then he does, and he comes out, and he's really happy. Dude's feeling really good, so that's cool. But then they hear some commotion, and when they hear some commotion, they go down, and it's like a wolf figure. We saw it in the earlier trailers for Daima, but he's like pretty much just causing commotion down there. And only when everybody is out of the room, Goku's like, should we just beat him up? They don't even get a chance to answer why that's a bad idea, but the flying kind of bird like of the duo comes in and steals the Dragon Ball. So at this point they're like, crap, the Dragon Ball's gone, what do we do? And Pansy over here, actually being a genius, is like, I put a tracker in the bag, we're fine. So they actually use the tracking device to hunt down these 2 people. So these 2 people are pretty much like, what are we gonna do with just one Dragon Ball? And the wolf is like, man, I don't care, it's gonna sell, and that's what we need. And the bird guy's like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And Goku's like, nah, you're both wrong, give me that black. And they're like, bro, what? So you have this cool chase scene where Goku is pretty much just going in, and they're trying to play keep away with the Dragon Ball, but Goku is just too strong and fast. He eventually kicks the wolf dude in the back and knocks him over. And after he knocks him over, he gets the Dragon Ball, and they're gonna try to rush Goku, but then Glorio just like jumps in the way and uses his lightning whip to apprehend both of them. And that's pretty much the end of that. They get back to the place, and mind you, that whip, that casting the lightning whip and then just holding it on, that's a Legends or Dokkan animation waiting to happen. I know for a fact when we get a Glorio card that actually has his moveset, or like, you know, Xenoverse, or like, yeah, like just Sparking Zero, that's gonna be a move. It just looked like one of those things. So they get back, and Glorio, he just congratulates Pansy. He's like, hey, like, good work, like that was good. And that was pretty cool, right? So they're all gonna go to sleep, and Goku offers to stand watch. And it's cool because Goku he says he got a lot of sleep on the plane, he's a little fired up, and so he just like trains in the middle of the night until he gets tired and falls asleep anyway. And I was really afraid here that they were going to have somebody steal the ball again, but luckily we don't have that as far as we know. I hope they just don't open up the sack later and find out that it's gone, but for now the ball seems to be in their grasp, and that's pretty tight. So after this ends up happening, we switch over to Team 2, or, you know, Team Vegeta, however you want to call it, and they come out and they have no ship. Their ship has been stolen, and Vegeta is obviously mad. And then Hybis is like, it's probably those guys you beat up last night. We get this great flashback to all of them eating in this like club. It looks like a club. It's got the lights. It's dim. And Vegeta accidentally bumps into this one dude, or maybe they bump into him, but they're like, yo, watch where you're going, punk. And this guy tries to throw hands with Vegeta, and Vegeta lays this dude out, just puts his food down, lays him out, and then just grabs his food and starts walking in. So these guys try to jump him, because clearly he did not just one-shot your homie. And Vegeta starts clowning on everybody, which, once again, like it did with Goku in episode, 1 or 2, it resolved in, ended in them stealing their car, essentially stealing their shit, because they were mad and they knew they couldn't see this man with the hands. So you have this, and at one point Hybis mentions the zombie forest and how there's zombies in there, and if you get bit you turn to a zombie, but you can start beating them, and like, you know, he wants to play a game to spend the time. He's like, well, while we're waiting on King Cannon to get us a new ship, we can go into the forest of zombies and play the zombie slaying game. And this automatically kind of makes me interested, because I'm like, does that mean Hybis can fight? Because being turned into a zombie doesn't sound that cool. So it sounds like Hybis can fight, but then Bulma looks at his belt, and this is the craziest part. Bulma looks at his belt, and there is an eye that is responsive. It's moving. An eye, a tertian oculus, mayhaps. But Hybis said that he found it in the mountains years ago, and Deborah didn't have this eye, so there is a high probability that this artifact that Goma wants so desperately will be in the possession of Hybis, which is going to give it a reason for Goma to come into contact with it later potentially, or for Adensu to steal it, because Hybis will be with them for most of the trip, and he'll end up coming into contact with these main villains. Whoever knows what that thing looks like will be able to recognize it when it's on Hybis' belt buckle. And this is just conjecture, but I think they just called too much attention to it, and his, oh, I found it up in the mountains years ago, to not be a thing. Like, it looks like Hybis just has this like strong artifact for no reason. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And then we get this scene where it flashes back to Degesu, and Degesu has the he's just chilling on the phone, and he's talking to somebody who we don't see, but they're keeping tabs on everything that's happening. So it seems like there may be another traitor. It's not just Gloria, there may be another traitor, and that's insane to know. But it looks like, yeah, somebody else is reporting, and Goma's like, what's going on? And Degesu's like, well, the guys we wish to be kids are now back in the demon realm. And Goma's like, what? Wait, why? And he was like, well, they're searching for the Dragon Balls. And Goma's like, oh, okay, well, luckily they probably won't find them. And then he's like, 'cause that's impossible. Like, Tamagamis are hard to beat. And then you have Degesu essentially explaining that, no, they beat the Tamagami already. And Goma's like, oh, man, I should have wished for the eye. So once again, we're putting some more stress on the eye. Between the belt buckle as well as the mentioning of the eye again, it's just pretty, I think it's pretty, like, beeline that is the tertian oculus on Hybis' belt for no reason. So that's pretty interesting. I do want to know who Glorio is talking, or not Glorio, who Degesu is talking to, but I'm sure that'll just be told in time. And then we have the crew finally reuniting. Goku's ship, Team Goku's ship lands and meets Team Vegeta, but Goku kind of pulls like a dick move, and he's like, I don't know about this. Glorio gives like a more apt reason where he's like, our rations and our tent can't be moved to make space for you guys, so we're probably just gonna have to go by ourselves. And they offer, Pansy offers to ask her dad to send a new ship and whatnot, which is pretty much already the plan, and it just kind of sucks. So you basically have Vegeta being mad because he doesn't want to be left behind, but it is what's going to happen. And Goku's like, well, you guys can just go and fight King Goma if you want. But Piccolo and Vegeta already can see through Goku's just cavalier mood and know that he just wants to fight all the Tamagamis himself. And Piccolo even mentions that's a bad habit. So that's just pretty wild. And then you get to this next thing where I just kind of feel like there's when it comes through here, right? I think it's interesting that Glorio was really quick to shut down Piccolo and Vegeta getting on. And earlier in the episode, they ask if his friends, Goku's friends, are just as strong as him. And like Goku's like, oh, they're pretty strong. And so I'm kind of wondering if Glorio wants to keep the group divided, because Goku can be played and he's kind of dumb, whereas Piccolo and Vegeta are less likely to get played, and if they're as strong as Goku, it's going to be a lot harder for Glorio to make his plan succeed. That's kind of the feeling I got watching that part. So now you go over and you have the, you pretty much have Vegeta getting mad, and the people that stole the ship, they come over to jump Vegeta. And Vegeta was waiting for this. Like, he wasn't waiting for that in particular, but he needed something to blow off steam. So he pretty much fights them, and it's a great little action scene. Vegeta is dominating effortlessly, looking straight up stylish, swagging on him. And it's one of the things that I've always liked. Whenever they actually denote the fighting styles of Goku and Vegeta, most recently it was like the Broly battle. Dragon Ball Super Broly, the main difference is that Goku is a martial artist, whereas Vegeta is just a very, very, very skilled fighter. I'm not saying he's like a brawler, but you can tell Vegeta's like stance is to like deal damage and deal it effectively, whereas Goku is an actual martial artist. So I was actually really happy seeing Vegeta fight, using his momentum, just clowning people, ends up stomping people, very princely, you know, just like features, just going in. He dominated them. And then there's this one freaking cool moment where like Piccolo, they look at Piccolo and they're like, oh, you're not that guy, maybe we can test you. And Piccolo is just like exuding aura before he just destroys this one dude with one punch to the back of the head. And another guy tries to test Piccolo, but Vegeta just breaks his spine, like just punches him in the back, and then he just like is over. So that's pretty much that. And then they make the people tell them where the ship is, and it looks like it's in the forest nearby. So they're gonna probably go get the ship so that they can actually go and do things, and that's actually pretty awesome. And then the last thing that we get to is it goes back to Arinsu and Marbu, and they are in the middle of concocting this Majin that they were talking about last episode. And Marbu pulls out Cyberman seeds and says, I used to have so many I could sell them to outsiders. Now I only have 2. So it's very strange to know that apparently Cybermen come from Demon World, like they're a creation, maybe hers, maybe somebody else's, but she said sell them to outsiders, making them sound like they're native to Demon World. How many things come from Demon World? I mean, I guess the Cybermen do have pointy ears, but geez, wait, do they have pointy ears? I think the Cybermen have pointy ears, but it's just like a lot of stuff comes from Demon World, a lot of stuff. So she gives it to Arensu, tells her to plant it only so deep, because the deeper in the soil you plant this seed, the harder it will be to control, but the stronger and closer to Majin Buu's essence it'll be. So using her spit for control, Marbu's magic, Majin Buu's essence, and a Cyberman seed, she makes a brand new Majin named Majin Ku. And he definitely looks like a Cyberman Kid Buu-esque looking figure. And this is cool. And since there's one more seed, we might be getting one more Majin. So that's actually gonna be really, really cool to see about this. But he's born, we get some good looks at him, and the cool thing is Kid Buu lost his mind. He could not speak, you know, but this one seems to be sentient. Immediately Arensu is like, I want you to go and defeat Tamagami 1. And Marbu's like, a Tamagami already? And Arensu's like, if he's not strong enough to beat Tamagami 1, we don't have any use for him in the first place. Like, we already know our ops can beat Tamagamis, so we need to make sure our creations can beat Tamagamis. And Marbu's like, wow, okay then. And Arensu's like, bet. Go. And the guy's like, understood, and he leaves, and that's the end of the episode. So I think that we are, as far as episodes are going, this one was a little bit of a slow-paced episode. I don't want to say it was like a nothing burger, but like we got some like casual fights, we got the group meeting just to like dissipate again, we had some cool perspective from Vegeta, we had a random thief plot, we've got more intrigue, and then we've got Majin Ku being born. So this episode wasn't exactly like a lot of stuff is happening episode, and I guess that's fine, but we are at episode 9 out of 20 something presumably, so we are about the halfway mark, it looks like, or according to rumors. And so I would like the pace to pick up just a little bit. I would like us to start seeing more and more things happening, because I really do think that, like, I don't want to have the ending be rushed, but hey, that's just speculation from now. I think that right now we have some interesting things going on. I can't wait to see Majin Ku in action. I mean, it's funny because we make fun of Cybermen, but it looks like we're about to have Cybermen being fused with one of the more favored villains of all time in Dragon Ball lore, Kid Buu, and so we got to see what this guy is capable of. I am super excited to see what happens next. I think this is a bit of a slow burn, and I do think that we kind of went backwards in some cases. Like, I was like so happy to have the group united, only to see them split again, and that's unfortunate. However, looking in the next couple videos, it is interesting to see that we might have a plot where Goku and company are just beating the Tamagamis, where Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma might have another task. They might be doing something else. They might be like, we have this point where at first we thought that we're going to be traveling as a group and doing things together, But what if Goku and crew are going to, like, Team Goku is going to fight the Tamagamis, whereas Team Vegeta are going to fight, like, the new Majins? That could be a possibility. So I do want to see if they're going to stay split or if they're going to come together. We should have some really cool Vegeta fight scenes soon. After seeing this episode, I have no doubt that when Vegeta finally gets his own series fight scenes, it's going to be just as hype, and I think it should be against Majin Buu. That would be really, really cool just to see that ability, especially that kind of little rematch between Vegeta and Kid Buu. So I'm excited, and I keep saying that. I'm hopeful for these new episodes. This episode didn't really have as much to sink my teeth into in terms of speculation. It was just kind of like some loose setup with a little bit of slice of life. And so I think that next episode is probably going to be a lot cooler because generally once we have like a lukewarm episode, we generally have like a hot episode afterwards so far. And so I want to know your opinions in the the comments. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if there's any points that you want to elaborate on, and we will keep it a buck in the comment section. And so with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. If you like any of the content on this channel, just make sure you leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and I should be live streaming Kingdom Hearts 2 in the next week or so. I'm trying to think of whether I start it before my weekend trip or whether I start it when I get back. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.